So today is my first attempt at doing a battle report, and we have Dark Elves versus Ogres, 1000 points of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and this is Grant. He's my opponent today. He will be playing the evil
Elves.
role of Dark Elves.
You know it.
So, you just talk us through your army and your thoughts on the battle to happen.
Okay, well, first of all, let's start with the hero choices. Always a good place to start. Down here, I've got my Sorceress. She's a level 2 Sorceress with a Focus Familiar, allowing her to boost her range by 6 and hide behind enemy units because of it, which is quite funky. I've also been able to give her a third spell thanks to the Tome of Furion for 15 points. Well worth it. She's currently running today the Law of Shadows, which is a different one for me because I usually take Drushai Sorcery. But the spells I rolled up for her, I initially rolled the Steed of Shadows, but it's not really any use for her, seeing as there's no friendly characters anywhere else, and then she can only use it. So I swapped that out for Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. Now that basically allows me to drop an enemy's weapon skill, ballistic skill, initiative or movement by D3. And that costs 5 points, but to augment that, to make it bigger, and reduce all 4 characteristics by D3, I only need to roll a 10 on that. So that, I reckon, is going to be really handy against Al's army of ogres. The next one I rolled up was the Prenumbral Pendulum. It's quite a nasty one with D6, 6d6, straight in a straight line away from the caster. Each model must pass an initiative test or suffer a strength 10 hit, causing D3 multiple wounds, which is very good considering I am against ogres and they have multiple wounds. And the last one I drew up, the Pit of Shades. Not that nasty to begin with, but it's a round template anywhere within 24 inches of the caster. It then scatters D6 and all models under it must pass an initiative test or be dragged to their death. No armour saves of any kind or ward saves or whatever saves. You're dragged to your death.
That's not good.
Considering
my average initiative is 2.
It does what it says on the scroll. But yeah, that's my last spell that she has. And moving over to my core units, the first core unit I have is my core unit of 24 warriors. They all have shields, they've got their command and the banner of cold blood. That's pretty much them for 183 points. Moving over, you've got my Corsairs with a pair of repeater handbows for the main leader, if you can see that. And then the rest of them also have handbows. They just have the natural command. No, they do have a special stand in there. The Banner of Murder, which gives them armour piercing, which is quite a nice one. Then moving over from that, you've got 15 Corsairs with a command, 2 hand weapons. Nothing really special about them. Moving down from them, you've got 6 Shades in a really battered, chipped paint scheme. And they've just got repeated crossbows, light armour and hand weapons. And a nice little skirmisher unit there. Moving over to the right, you've got 10 repeater crossbowmen. Yes, they're 10 repeater crossbowmen. And lastly, you've got my Reaper Bolt Thrower. Much like the High Elf Bolt Thrower, but just looks a lot cooler. Even if it is battered and chipped.
Okay, and is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, this will be the second time I've gone up against Al's army with a bigger core troop choice this time and a lot more points. So hopefully we won't have the incident I've had previously of Dark Elf Sorceress pancakes.
Yes, because you've mentioned it, would you like to explain it for our viewers as they would not quite know what you're talking about?
Basically, I drew the most powerful spell for Drushai Sorcery, which was to take a wound with a large blast template off a unit. I didn't know then ogres had 3 wounds, so they all took a wound, didn't really care. His bruiser then came over and turned my Dark Elf Sorceress into a pancake.
Yes, with his tenderizer,
Bloody
which
great.
is still a horrible, horrible magical weapon. Anyway, moving on to my army. So I have, starting at the front, a unit of 4. That's right, 4 lead belchers. Because this is the first time I'm running the new army book, I thought I might as well try them out, see what their new gun's like. Hopefully they won't kill themselves. We'll see what happens. And against elves, they should squish them quite dramatically. Just behind that, I've got probably the biggest overkill unit in my army, which is a unit of 7 Iron Guts. That's right, 7 Iron Guts. So they all have great weapons and heavy armor, making them like strength 7 against an army whose total toughness is 3. So lots of squished elves if they make it, but I am slightly worried about some of his spells. Then I've got a unit of 8 normal ogres, used to be called ogre balls. For some reason they renamed them to just ogres, not sure why, but they're there with full command. Oh, sorry, they have full command as well. And I'm running the leader as my butcher with Laura the Great Mal, and he got Spinal Marrow, which is their signature spell, which augments any unit within 12 inches to give them the stubborn special rule, or you can increase the range to 24 for just casting it on a 9+. So that's quite good. And I got the ultimate spell, the Maw, which essentially you take an initiative test or you suffer strength 7 multiple wound d6 hits. Or if you pass your initiative test, you still take strength 3 hit because you're scrambling over the Great Mal's teeth. So that's my army. This is all my old models. You've seen some of the repainted ones in another video, so apologise for the painting standard. But this is more about having a game and having fun, and this is a friendly game. This isn't a tournament game, so don't bash us for our army lists. And bear in mind the fact that we are still learning the rule system, so if we make a mistake, it's not intentional, and we do apologise for that.
Because we're noobs.
Well, we're not really noobs, but we're noobs to this, yes. So we're going to set up now and probably do the first turn, and we'll be back with you shortly. Bye for now.